Hello, welcome back to the Big Fellas podcast. It's me, Mark, here today with one of my favourite types of episode, another loser story. And going back to what we love most, it's a guy who's lost weight through Man v Fat. This is a gentleman called Joe Bentley. He has lost over 6 stone, so fantastic efforts. But yes, as I said, he is part of the Man v Fat movement, and you hear us talk about a lot on the podcast. The great thing we have with Man v Fat is if you want to get involved, lose weight, play a bit of football or rugby nowadays, you can sign up at Man v Fat, and enter Big Fellas on the voucher code, and you'll get your sign-up fee for just £1. Not bad at all. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to welcome in our guest today, Joe Bentley. Hello, Joe. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Matt?
Yes, delighted to have you on, mate. Really good to have you on. And we've had a quick chat off the recording, and there's a few things that I'm really keen to get stuck into today. But let's go straight in at the top. You've lost over 6 stone, Joe. Where did you start? What do you weigh now? And how did you do it?
I weigh 16 stone now. When I started, I was over 22 stone. I joined Man v after losing around 6 stone. Since then, I think I'm nearly at so close to 20%. But yeah, I've plateaued a bit now. I do a lot of very active. I do a lot of walking. I'm trying to do running, but my knees giving in on me. But I joined Man v to be more accountable. So every week I'd have something that I've done well and bad, and keep me going.
So Man v Fat. So that's your way of keeping yourself accountable. Where did that journey start?
So I'm a chef by trade, and I signed up just before Christmas because I'd lost weight, but I was worried that with Christmas coming up, I was going to put it all back on again. I wanted a way. It was actually a friend's son who played football, my son, who recommended it to me. I'd seen it advertised, but never taken the leap. So I thought if I go there and every week somebody can tell me if I've done well or done badly, then I'd maintain it and keep it off, which worked, really. But it all started because I signed up to climb a really big mountain in Africa called Kilimanjaro. And I was worried that I was going to put it all back on before I got there and really struggle with it. So that's how it started.
Wow. Okay. So, a lot to unpack there. So let's just stick with the weight loss and we'll come back to Kilimanjaro. There's a lot to talk about there because that's fantastic in itself. So what was the moment? I will say there was a moment, almost a light bulb moment where you decided, right, enough is enough. I need to lose this weight. What did that look like for you?
It was my kids. I've always been a bigger guy and I've always yo-yoed. So I've never had a problem losing weight. I can always lose it really quickly. But then equally, I get bored and put it back on really quickly. And I've never been healthy ever in my life. Even when I lost weight in the past, I've never been healthy. And I struggle to do things for my kids. Like I struggle to walk upstairs. We'd go for maybe a walk on Greenway near my house and I'd be out of breath walking up the hill. Just basic tasks. Like at work, I'm on my feet all day. I walk maybe 15 to 20,000 steps a day. Yet I'm still incredibly overweight and I still get out of breath going upstairs. So it just made no sense to me. So obviously I was at breaking point. It was starting to mess with my mental health again. I just needed a reason and I needed a purpose to do it for. And it was my kids, because if not, they won't have me much longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it takes someone else to almost inspire you to. If you're not going to do it for you, do it for your kids. It's a point I've relayed on here a few times. Was I didn't say there was one particular moment, but I always remember when I was at my heaviest, my eldest son talking about me to his mate, saying, "Yeah, this is my dad. He's really lazy." And that was just like a shot to the stomach, wasn't it? And it was just like, now if my kids are seeing this now, then yeah, I've got to do something, and I've got to put this right. So I completely get that. So you got to that point, you decided to make that move for your kids. What did it look like at the start? Like, what did you change?
I started walking way before Man v Fat. I started walking about 4 years ago. I did the Yorkshire Three Peaks when I was a big dude, and it nearly killed me. But I enjoyed the start of it until it started hurting. I enjoyed it, and I had a friend, my sous chef, funnily enough, who was an avid walker. So I kind of lent on him. Obviously, signed up to the challenge of Kilimanjaro, which obviously we'll go to in a bit, but signed up to that. So it made sense to start walking because that is what I was going to be doing a year and a half later. So walking for me was just going outside as well, fresh air. It's incredible. It does wonders for you.
Yeah, I can't argue that, and certainly in my own journey, I found myself out and about walking more. I probably have my own mental health challenges as well, and do you know what? Above all else, just a bit of fresh air and a bit of your own headspace does absolute wonders for you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I've been out today.
Yeah,
Kids were at school today, went and did a 5 hour, 10 kilometre loop. And it's just being out there in the wilderness, in Middle Peak
wow,
District, does wonders for you. It clears your head. It's ace.
fantastic. Yeah, I'm up in the Peak District in a few weeks' time, actually. Just sort of getting together with some mates, so yeah, quite looking forward to it. Whereabouts do you live?
Just outside Leeds and Huddersfield.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, lovely.
It's about an hour away from Peak District.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Um, so yeah, and then so you started walking more, and so that got you moving. And so, what did your diet look like, and how did it change?
Well, I tried to get, believe it or not, I tried to start taking protein shakes in the morning so that I could get all vitamins and everything into a shake, and I'd skip breakfast because as a chef, the first thing you do when you walk in the kitchen in the morning, so I work 12-hour shifts quite often, get there for end at breakfast service. You've got all that breakfast sat on pass. Because I work in a hotel. So you've got it all. And, beeline straight to sausages and hash browns. And every morning that's what I would do. But since I started doing this, I have a protein shake on the morning now. I'll put banana and peanut butter powder and stuff in it. And it just ties me over. So it's not like skipping a meal because I'm replacing it with goodness, but I'm not going to work hungry, which is always good.
Yeah,
And then the rest of the day, I eat moderately, and I'm not going to lie and sit here and say I'm the messiah. If I open a packet of biscuits, I have to finish the packet of biscuits. It's just part of it's in my DNA. I can't help it. But I'm that active now that I manage to keep it off
yeah.
when I do have a slip like that.
Okay, I think we all got to be realistic. We're still going to have these slips, aren't we? And
Mm.
I guess it's not turning that slip into like a week, a month, or an ongoing sort of situation. And
Yeah.
yeah, certainly I've had those moments. I've had fuck it moments, as I call them, when you're doing all right, and then you just sort for no reason really, you just think, fuck it, I'm going to eat that pack of biscuits, and
Yeah.
or I'll get a share bag of crisps and just polish off the lot. These moments do sort of hit us, but yeah, like I said, if you can sort of minimize them, and like I said, counter that by, like I said, doing a bit of exercise or something, and that sort of will put you in a better place for sure. No, that's brilliant. And I guess, like you're saying, you're a chef. Now, my brother's a chef, and I think you must have had this thrown at you lots of times. As, oh, if you're a chef, you must eat amazingly well and must eat really good food. Is that the case?
It's not a case at all. I mean, it is. It's for a lot of chefs. It is, but I'm head chef in a hotel. I don't have time. I genuinely do not have time to cook properly for myself. And I used to find myself getting home on a night time and eating super noodles and spam with cheese on it. That were always my go-to quick fix meal. I was never going home and cooking myself gourmet food or healthy food. It was something I could eat quickly or a snack out of the cupboard because I've been working on my feet for the last 12 hours. I need something I can snack on quickly. Not something I have to now. I don't want to bring my work home. I want to eat and watch telly. It's always been a problem for me ever since I started chefing when I was 15.
Yeah. And I guess that's it, isn't it? You're spending all day making sort of gourmet food, good quality food, and that, and it's almost like the busman's holiday effect, isn't it? You just get to when you get home, you're just like, ah, fuck it, I
Yeah,
want to eat some
exactly.
sleaze.
You want to open a cupboard, pull something out and eat. Like you don't want to be,
Yeah,
when you get home, you don't want to cook.
you've been spending all day cooking, haven't you? So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 no, right. So how did you kind of counter that now then? So presumably you're not coming home and eating super noodles.
No, no, no. Well, I think a big thing with weight loss as well is what time you're eating.
Hmm.
So I obviously when I get home, my go-to on a night time now when I get home is a couple of biscuits and a cup of tea, and it kind of just cancels out the sweet tooth. You don't try and find other food in the cupboard. And if I have a cup of tea and a couple of biscuits and take them to bed with me, then I won't sit there hungry on the sofa. But the rest of the day, I just eat. I eat at a better time, so I'll make sure I eat a meal before 9 o'clock, rather than wait until I get home at 10:30, 11 and eating, because it sits in your stomach when you're in bed then.
Mm.
So I try and best. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to lie and say I don't have the odd takeaway here and there late at night, but the majority of the time I try not to eat late on at night.
Yeah, I get that. And so I guess to me, this really sort of shouts you're making almost subtle changes. You've not kind of made a wholesale change to your diet and your lifestyle. It's almost been making small changes. Would that be a fair way to describe it, do you think?
It would, yeah. I think the biggest change I've made is how active I am now. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that my diet has obviously changed. It's much better than it was, but I wouldn't say that I've cancelled out all the foods. It's probably why I'm plateauing at 16 stone and I'm struggling to get under that.
Mm.
I've never been below 100 kilos in my adult life, and I've been stuck at 1 to 105 now for about 2 months. So if I did sort my diet out, maybe I would go underneath it, but
Yeah.
you've got to do it all at once. You can't do everything all at once.
No, but let's not sort of like dismiss what you've done so far. Having lost 6 stone, that's a heck of a chunk of weight to lose. And so, yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. And yeah, I think take stock of where you are. And like I said, maybe sort of like once you're feeling a bit more ready for it, that's the next step of your journey, I guess.
I think the biggest difference with what I've done this time to previous efforts in the past is I've lost it over a longer period of time. So it's taken me a year and a half to lose 6 stone. It's not been,
Okay.
I haven't dropped it instantly. Whereas in the past, like I once did a diet where I lost 4 stone in 3 months. I can't remember what the diet was. It was a liquid diet. It was years ago. I can't remember what it was. You completely take out your food. And I've done Slimming World. I lost 5 stone on Slimming World. Stopped doing Slimming World, put 5 stone on in 3 months. But now, because I've found something that I love doing in walking and running, I've managed to keep it off, and I've lost it like gradually, not all in one go. And I think it's really helped this time.
Absolutely. It's really a testament to slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. And just, like I said, it's fine. You found a way to just sort of improve on where you were. And in time, that's made the needle move in your direction. And I love that. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think we live in a world where we're all too impatient and we want results now. That's why people
Yeah,
are all over the jab and things like that, because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a case of bang, I can do it now. So yeah, so you're a big walker, and is your thing, and so that's led you to do, say, the Yorkshire Three Peaks, but bigger still, you've done Mount Kilimanjaro. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm an ambassador for a mental health charity in hospitality called the Burnt Chef Project. They specialise in mental health for people who work in our industry. And they put out on the ambassadors channel, does anybody want to do this? And it was Kilimanjaro. And that was when I was at my heaviest. And I saw it and I ummed and ahed over it until my partner said to me, if you don't do it, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But to do it, I couldn't afford to do it. So I had to raise the money for it. So I raised £7,000 for it. So there was no way in my head that I wasn't going to make it to the top or die trying. So over the 12 months of training for that, I did so much walking. In the last 12 months, I've done 50 of the Wainwrights. I've done UK Three Peak Challenge. I did Lake District Ultra 50K. I did my first half marathon in York. Done a lot of training for it, but the experience of Kilimanjaro is unbelievable. If anybody's thinking about doing it, you don't have to be as fit as you think you do. That was the biggest surprise for me. I wasn't challenged at all fitness wise. It was all altitude sickness. Altitude sickness hit me after 4 days or 3 days, and I've never felt like it. You can't breathe, you get headaches, you can't eat, nauseous. It's awful. And that was the hardest thing, pushing through that mental toughness to get because you go up slowly to acclimatize to it, and that was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, I think, challenge wise. But yeah, if anybody was thinking about doing Kilimanjaro, I'll do it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do like something like that and climb a mountain. I've done the Three Peak Challenge myself. So I've done Ben Nevis a couple of times now, and yeah, but obviously this is taking it to a whole new level. And so yeah, just tell us about the journey of Kilimanjaro. How long does it take, and what does it look like?
So I did the Lemosho route, which is, I think it were 8 days, 7 days, and you start at about 3,200 meters. So you get off the coach at 3,200 meters, and the second I got off the coach, I had a headache because
Wow.
I've never been that high before. The highest I'd ever been I went to Crete last year and I climbed their highest mountain while I was there. I was on an all-inclusive holiday and I'd be filling myself up with feta cheese for 2 weeks. And by the time I got to that, I was ready to throw it up. But that mountain's 2,500, and that
Wow.
was the highest I'd ever been up to that point.
Yeah.
So when I got off the coach, instant headache, incredible. I was like, if I'm getting a headache now, I've got 7 more days. How can I deal with this? But you go so slow, like it's called poly poly, and there's porters going up with you that are singing it at you all the way up, and you will never ever walk that slow anywhere in your life. It's crazy, but you're still out of breath, you're still tired. So it's not actually a physical challenge; it's a mental challenge. Well, I don't think it is anyway. I think it's more mental than it is physical. Obviously, you have to have some baseline training. Obviously, you
Yeah.
can't go up there and not have been on any long walks or anything. But it
Mm.
is all, for me, it was all mental. It wasn't physical at all. The last day is the equivalent of doing Nevis. It's 13, the summit push. It's
Yeah.
1,300 meters, but you're doing it. I set off at 2 a.m. So we'd done, this was on the last day. So it was on the 6th day. I think we went to bed at 6 p.m., got woken up at midnight, and we set off at 2 a.m. and we were walking for, I could say 12 hours, 13 hours, I think.
Oof.
And it's 1,300 meters, well, 1,300 meters. So it's almost identical to what you do when you do Nevis, but you're
Yeah.
doing it and you can't breathe and you've got a headache and you've not slept properly for a week. And, your knees are starting to, you just want to
Yeah.
go home. So you're in the headspace now. I've had enough of this now. I want to leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's difficult. The last day is really difficult, but the rest of them are all really quite pleasant. And the people that porter all your gear up there are incredible. The Tanzanians, unbelievable set of people. Like, I forgot what football shirt that one of them got me that I wear to my really fat now because they were just incredible people. Yeah. So if
Yeah.
anybody wants to do it, I can't say do it enough, to be honest.
Fair play. Fair play. And so you say you hit the peak, was it on day 6, did you say? So was it like 6 days to get up and then 2 days down, is it?
Day 6 or 7, I can't remember now. It's all blurred into one.
Yeah.
It tells you everything. You do it in a week going up, and you get down in one day.
Oh, wow.
Takes,
Okay.
that's when it hurts. That's when
Yeah.
it hurts. Down hurts. It doesn't hurt going up. It hurts going down.
Yeah. I always remember it when I did Ben Nevis or the Three Peak Challenge. And it was just, I remember the pain of it going down because it's like your toes just kept bashing against the end of your boots.
I've
And
lost
that
2
really,
toenails.
did you?
In the last 12 months, I've lost 2 toenails from walking down mountains. It grew back though, which I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's scary when you see them fall off, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It blew my mind.
Fantastic. So you did this for the Bird Chef project and you raised £7,000. Tell us a bit more about the Bird Chef project.
So the Burn Chef project look after everybody who works in hospitality, and it's not technically a charity, but it's, they're fighting for that to become one. And 84% of workers in the hospitality industry have been affected by poor mental health. The long hours, the lack of sleep, the fixes like drugs and alcohol, money problems. They're all directly affected by our industry, and it's a beautiful industry, and I love working in it, and I have done for 20 years. but it also has its dark side. And I've spent 20 years seeing that dark side. So a few years ago, after I went through my own mental health problems, I joined up with them as an ambassador. So I will occasionally go around and speak to colleges if I've got spare time and I can fix it in with work and there's a college that needs us. I will happily go and talk to them and talk about what we can do as an organisation to help people with poor mental health. There's a 24-hour helpline. There's e-learning. There's MHFA courses. There's all sorts that they do, and they've got an online store so you can buy all of the merchandise, which is pretty cool actually. I'm wearing my ambassador top now, but they've got all sorts, and they're great to be a great organisation to be a part of. But they're only really they started off really small and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger now. So they're helping more and more people, and it's all about crushing the stigma that's still there, which I know a lot about.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I've seen elements of that. Like I think I said to you, my brother works in hospitality, and there's been a chef. He turns 40 this year, so yeah, he's been through a roller coaster of emotions and sort of mental health challenges and everything else that comes with that. And yeah, so a very worthy cause. I can certainly see for that. And so yeah, you said you've had your own mental health challenges. Would you be happy to talk about that? Is that okay? I don't want to
Absolutely.
sort of get too personal.
No, I'm happy to. I like sharing my story because it makes people sit back sometimes. So when I were a little boy, when I was 7 years old, my dad took his own life, and back then there wasn't really any help. No, blokes didn't talk to each other. Nobody, all I ever hear people say about my dad is he were a hero, we're a hero. That's great. You got to know him. I didn't. So I spent a lot of years in my life dealing with that pain and what comes after somebody does that to themselves. And there's an element of selfishness to it, but until you've been there, I spent a lot of years hating my dad for what he did. And I got to a point as an adult where I hit a wall and I wanted to take my own life. And if I hadn't have experienced what it did to me, then I might not be sat here now. If I hadn't have had two kids that I didn't want to go through what I went through, I might not be sat here right now. So in a way, I'm thankful for what happened. So that's why I'm so open and honest about mental health and how harsh it can hit people. There's no way out of it. When you're in it, you don't necessarily know that you've got poor mental health. I didn't at the time. I thought I was okay. So, and do you know what? Man v Fat has been brilliant for that, because the lads at Man v Fat, they come together, man. There's so many lads that I know at Huddersfield Man v Fat. There's lads there that have struggled with their mental health, and I know, and I'm one of them. I've struggled with mine, and the lads all pluck in and ask each other how you doing. A lot of problems with weight is loneliness. You eat your feelings when you're lonely. You sit at home, and rather than, if you haven't got people around you, you find comfort in the bottom of a bag of crisps. And
yeah, you do, don't you?
And it gives you a reason to go and meet people that are in the same situation that you are. And I can't say enough for Man v Fat for how it helped me. And to be honest, I'm not the most outgoing and sociable person there. As I work so much, I can't go on all their nights out. But the lads there, they all go on nights out. They're in group chats. I've had to mute my group chat because there's always chatting. They're always talking. They're always making plans to go out. And obviously, I opened it this morning. There were 75 messages.
Wow. Yeah.
Because if you ever need anybody, they've got each other there, and they all reach out to each other. It's great, honestly. I can't sell it enough. Man v Fat, especially for lonely guys like myself who don't have much outside work, don't have many friendships outside work. It's great because there's people there that are in the same boat as you, and generally people with the weight issues are in the same issue with you. They're working long hours and they're eating crap when they get home, and they've got themselves in a box. So it's great, is Man v Fat for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Certainly, in the challenges I've faced in my time, Man v Fat has always been kind of like that place to have a bit of escapism, I guess.
Yeah,
In 2018, I went through a really, really rough divorce, and that was my place where for half an hour on the pitch, I didn't have to think about it. All I cared
exactly. Yeah.
about was, yeah, winning that match or having a kick about and just having a laugh. And what was good is I can remember talking to my coach at the time, telling him this is what's happening. And he was like, okay, thanks for telling me, Mark. Let's see what we can do just to get you out and about, because I'm running other sort of like matches on a Thursday and a Friday. If you want to come along, get yourself out and just get some more fresh air and a bit more exercise and just take your mind off things. We're here for you. And
The guys do
that
that
was
at
huge, you know.
Huddersfield as well. They do it there.
Yeah,
They organise friendlies and they've got an 11-a-side team. So
yeah,
like next week they're playing against Blackpool. I might end up playing. I don't know yet because I've got a dodgy knee. I don't know if I can do the 11-a-side again yet. But the next week they're playing 3 times, and that's 3 times they can
fantastic.
go and see each other and talk to each other, and you know
Yeah,
talk about how the week's been and stuff. And sometimes it's the only interaction that some of them have with other blokes outside work. It's
yeah,
important.
it's true, isn't it? And I think you do hear there's a real loneliness epidemic these days, and people struggle to make friends, especially when you kind of when you're young, at school or college, you've got mates around you all the time, haven't you? But as you get that
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
older and you settle into a relationship or something, and it was just you and the missus, or you, and then you've got your kids in that, and then you tend not to sort of like venture out beyond that.
No,
Again, something like Man v Fat comes along, and it's like, yeah, it's a
it's an
Monday night.
online. We're living in an online world. So everybody sits at home and looks at the screens. So all that they're doing is they're scrolling on Instagram and they're watching all the old friends from school's great lives and stuff, and how they're going
Yeah,
on this holiday, going up there with the friends, and you end up just scrolling and hating yourself and thinking this is shit. I need
yeah,
something to do, and going out and playing football is ace.
that's it. Yeah,
And
no,
won't be good either. There's absolutely no reason to think that you need to go and be next Ronaldo because it's not like that. Some of us are just terrible. I've been a rugby player all my life and I played in net. So I was never particularly good at football growing up. So like
yeah,
there's no expectation for you to be a great footballer either, which is great.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's a big part of it. It's all abilities are welcomed, and
Yeah.
I've played in 2 different leagues. I played in the Cambridge League and I played in the Peterborough League. And I did find the Peterborough League, there was a lot more players. And so there was a higher standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I play in the Cambridge League, and I put out that the standard's not as high as what it was in the Peterborough League. I'm going to get pelters for saying this now, but it's true. But it's a lot more welcoming, and it's probably a lot less clicky almost. And yeah, what I liked about the Cambridge League is, yeah, there are all abilities there. Everyone's getting a game, and yeah, it's that much more enjoyable, isn't it?
I think it's a lot more enjoyable when it's laid back.
Mm,
Like, everybody wants to win.
of course I
Naturally, it's a
do.
natural instinct.
Yeah.
So you want to win. But we all know that it's not FA Cup at end of game. It's I don't know about you. There's only 4 teams in Huddersfield League. Like, how
Okay.
many
Yeah.
times can you play each other to win the cup? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not important. It's not that big of a deal.
So yeah, you man v Fat League. What's your team name? Kebabadine. Oh, I love it. There's some absolutely brilliant names. I look at the website and just look across different leagues and see all of their all the names that come up, and there's some absolute belters out there. But yeah, my team is Al Fatty Lad. So
From the Saudi Arabian League, yeah.
that's it. Yeah, paying homage to those guys. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And yeah, last season we won the weight loss league and finished second overall, which was a little bit gutting. There was a team that was on the pitch that just managed to sort of win every game, and that was a struggle. But like I said, we walked away with the Scales League, so which is why we're there at the end of the day. So yeah, we'll take that,
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, you said you have an 11-a-side team as well. So do you get involved with that much?
I did, but in December I did the Advent Calendar running challenge. So you run 1 kilometre on the first, there's 2 on the second, 3 on the third, up until 24. You end up
Oh,
doing
wow.
300 kilometres by Advent calendar day. And by the end of it, my knees have just been knackered. I haven't been able to. So it was 300 kilometres I ran in December. And since then, I haven't been able to consecutively run at all. So if I do a 5K, I'm out. I can't run again for 2 more days. So
Yeah.
I've had to stop playing with 11-a-side team because I can't run for that long without my knee giving way. But I
No.
was, and they're brilliant. It is fun.
Yeah.
I do miss
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. And then it's going across and playing, again, other leagues of Man v Fat. And it's, again, you're playing against a group of lads who are in a similar boat to you. So there's a bit of relatability. It's not taken too seriously, but there still is that real competitive edge. And there's still some
Yeah.
good old fashioned shithousing in it as well, which I think is
Oh,
hilarious.
massively, yeah. I was really surprised that it was so competitive, to be honest, when I first played 11-a-side. I
Yeah,
didn't expect it to be, but they are. The lads really want to win.
absolutely.
We've been
Football's so tribal, though, isn't
as
it?
well. It is,
Say
yeah,
again, sorry?
definitely.
Yeah.
Just agreeing, yeah, it
And
definitely
so,
is tribal, yeah.
yeah, it really is. And yeah, are you a football fan outside of Man v Fat then, are you?
I am, yeah. I'm
Liverpool, okay.
not been great this
Been a bit
season,
of a
to be
struggle
honest.
this season, hasn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
Do you think Klopp's going to keep his job next season?
I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about Slot, to be honest. I think he did well, obviously, last season, but I just feel like he doesn't know what he's doing half the time with players. He doesn't know who he's putting on pitch. He just,
Yeah.
like, he'll play. He took Gomez off, didn't he, after 15 minutes of a week? I was like, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's just it's surprising to see how much of a fall from grace it's been season on season after
no.
spending so much money as well, you know.
I mean, obviously, Diego Jota's hit everybody on it. Diogo Jota's hit the squad. You can see it's hit the squad at the start of the season, but you can only use that as an excuse for so long, can't you? But we
Yeah.
spent so much money and got so many decent players that should have taken us to the next level, and we've gone back 3 steps in typical Liverpool fashion.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Norwich City fan, so yeah. And
You can't relate.
yeah, my, yeah, my troubles have been a bit different, shall we say? So, but we were looking destined for relegation at the start of the season, so we've managed to turn that around. We're 6 points outside the playoffs. We're not going to make the playoffs just purely because it's 6 points with 2 games to play. A lot's got to happen for that to go. But hey, yeah, I think we should return this back to weight loss. Really, I like talking about football, but yeah, we are here to talk about football. Let's just take it right back. And so, what would your advice be to a guy who's 22 stone now, who's listening to this, thinking, "I'm stuck in a rut. I can't get out of it. What do I do?"
Start small. Don't think you're going to lose it overnight. Think about the things that you can change that aren't going to affect your life massively. Like small changes to your diet to start with. Go outside. It doesn't take much to walk. Anybody can walk. Anybody can walk. Whether it's one step out of your front door, it's still better than the step that you didn't take yesterday. So that would be my advice.
Yeah.
Start small.
No, that's fair play. And I guess another bit of advice I'd ask for is you're someone in the hospitality industry struggling with your mental health. What would your advice be to them?
It's not going to last forever. There's help out there. Talk to people. The biggest thing with mental health is what I did is you bottle it up. Don't bottle it up. Talk to the chef online with you because they might be going through the same thing. And if you think someone's struggling, ask them. What shocked me, I did mental health first aid training, and what shocked me is if you think somebody's not right, ask them if they're considering taking their own life. Because I would never have done that until I had the training to it, and it helped save one of my young chefs that I had. Because as soon as I asked him, he opened up to me, and I found out that his dad was an alcoholic and all sorts about his life, and he needed help. But he would never have done that had I not asked that really awkward, uncomfortable question. If somebody's not right and you think that you don't trust them to go home on their own, say to them, are you considering taking your own life? It's awkward. It won't feel right. But if you do it, it might open up questions. And if you're in the hospitality industry, reach out to the Burnt Chef Project. They've got all sorts. They've got a website. They've got Instagram, they've got a helpline. If you type in Burnt Chef Project into Google, you have a full list of it, and it'll have all of their helplines and everything, and all the help they can give you. So yeah, we're here.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely. And yeah, I think that's probably a good place to sort of wind it up there, Joe. But we will put links to the Burnt Chef Project in the show notes and offer support for anyone that's sort of listened to this that wants to sort of learn more. But
They've
yeah,
got their own
that's
podcast as well, called the Burnt Chef Journal. It's on Spotify that you can listen
uh,
to as well.
yeah, absolutely. We can link that as well. Again, it's these things are important. We do like to try and share the message as much as we can. But yeah, Joe, you've been a fantastic guest. 6 stone weight loss is fantastic. Getting out and just doing some good old fashioned walking is really admirable. And you know what? It's a nice evening. It's not too late. I might just go for a quick walk now myself, just to
Yeah, man.
blow away the cobwebs, so to speak. But yeah, I really admire the
Yeah,
work you do with the Burnt Chef Project, and like I said, we will link that in the show notes. So for
appreciate
now,
it.
we'd like to say thank you for coming on, and wish you all the best. And we'll see everyone on the next episode. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you for